What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new episode of Higurashi When They Cry. Last time on, we had finally caught up back to the present with Rena finishing her confession of the murder of Tepe and Rena, and the group decides to instead forgive her for it. And I honestly 100% certain it's the best scene in the game, second only to the one scene in chapter 3. It was just absolutely great, and so someone told me in the comments of like how it mirrors how Kechi in the first couple of chapters always admitted that friends are just rivals, and schoolwork, competitions and all that. But with this, he finally realizes, friends are family. They're people to rely on, and so it's a great thing. Um, and also, they also told me to like go back and look at the earlier arcs, and so I did. I did went back and looked at the earlier arcs. I looked back at specifically chapter 1, chapter 6. The answer arc equivalent to chapter 6 is chapter 100%, I feel like. Because, first of all, when I went back to chapter 1, Rena's character made a bit more sense in chapter 1, in my opinion. Especially during the scene of, like, Rena's the only person that tries to keep reaching out to Kechi because of Satoshi. She keeps trying to reach out to him, but unfortunately, because of her like mental illness, she does go about it in a very strong way. But she is truly trying to reach out to Kechi in chapter 1, trying to help him. But because, of some things, and Kechi already being suspicious of the entire village because of Oshi coming in and telling him, like, the murder is going on and stuff like that. I feel like I understand Rena's character in chapter 1, which is very cool. You can view the story like that. Chapter 2, not much to comment on there, but there was one conversation I went back on. It's Rika's conversation with Kechi, specifically when they're talking about the Sonozaki sisters. All right, I think from what I read, Rika knows the truth about the switch of Mion being the little sister, while Shion being the big sister, because she refers to them as the little cat and little sister cat and big sister cat, and she refers to big sister cat being angry, and that's obviously Shion, and the little sister cat being scared, which is Mion. And she refers to the demon inside Shion as the misunderstanding dog, and she asks herself, like, why did the misunderstanding dog go after the mare instead of the trickster cat? Who is the trickster cat? It can't be. It's not Tomeki or Takano, because she just straight up like says their names, and they're dead. Who is the trickster cat that Rika is referring to in that thing that Shion should have gone after? Honestly, any guess I would make would be just literally a shot in the dark. Like, literally. Was there anything from chapter 3? There was not much in chapter 3 that I, like, noticed. But, actually, there were a couple of, like, interesting, like, consistencies. Such as, the day that everything goes wrong nearly all happens on a Sunday. That's when, like, the world breaks, when the daily life of the club members ends. I don't know if that means anything, but, like, it's an interesting thing to take note of. And also, the 2 times we've seen Rika die, the 2 times, both in chapter 2 and chapter 3, I guess technically chapter 5, but chapter 5 and chapter 3 are pretty much same chapter. She, in both chapters, she dies on the 22nd of June. Well, in the tip we read last time, she's supposed to die on the 25th of June. So that's very interesting, in my opinion. What else is there? The whole Rika changing the lock of the storehouse. I'm pretty sure by this point, the reason why she changed the lock to the storehouse is to get Tomiki and Takano killed. I think that's the reason why she does it, because she has this mysterious new character who tells her everything for some reason. Somehow it was all her fault. And was there anything else? No, I don't think so. But it was very fascinating to go back to, like, at least the first 3 chapters, because I didn't have much time to go to chapter 4 or 5, but I don't know, chapter 4 is very disconnected from the first 3 chapters, so I think it was a good thing, and yeah, it was this story is so interesting. I'm able to go back and just see new things, understand characters a little bit better than I did before. It's a very interesting, like, cool way of writing the story, of like you're able to go forwards and backwards at the same time. So anyway, let's get into the new tips. Letter from the Forestry office. It's still June, yet the air is filled with the cries of cicadas. How is everyone in Himizawa doing? The Wanagagashi festival is coming just around the corner. We staff members from the Forestry service are going to perform a wood sculpting demonstration at the festival. We'll be happy to lend out our tools and teach your kids how to sculpt wood themselves. It'll be an excellent memorial gift. Also, we would like to inform everyone that we're going to cut down trees in the local hills this summer as part of the Number X4 Forest Landscape Management Project. This project involves preserving the beauty of the forest by cutting down old trees and planting new ones. The Forestry Service needs volunteers who are interested in helping us cut down old trees. You can enjoy the beauty of nature under the blue sky while helping out with this preservation activity. The project will begin during summer break, so you can bring your kids too. This will be a good opportunity for your kids to learn about the nature and have a valuable experience. The locations of the projects are the forests in the Takasuto and Yokochi areas. Wait. They bury the bodies there. That's so... Oh, shit. Shit. Also, I guess the thing I noticed in Chapter 3... Well, I mean, it was stated in the chapter itself. I don't think... In Chapter 3, I don't think what Kechi actually did kill Teppei in Chapter 3. Because, I mean, even in the tip we read of, like, the night of Wanagagashi when Oshi and the others, like, discover Tomoki's body, Oshi does make mention of Teppei being missing for a while. So it can't be just a delusion on Kechi's part. It couldn't just be him just, thinking he killed, Teppei like kind of American Psycho. I think it actually did happen. What happened after that, I still have no idea. Like, Chapter 3, the second half of Chapter... I think that single chapter after the murder of Teppei, I think is the most enigmatic chapter in this entire game. Because I still don't know what the hell that chapter means and how it happened. But, that's the thing about Higurashi, and I want to solve it. So, let's continue on and see what happens.
笑い続けていればいつか幸せになれると信じてきた。誰かのことを思えば相手も自分を思ってくれると信じてきた。悲しかった思い出を置き去りにして少女は明日を見つめようと前を向く。甘えず頼らずたった一人で未来を切り開くために。その先にあるものは幸せかそれとも不幸せか。 罪滅ぼし。誰かを愛したかった。でも本当は誰かに愛されたかった。
はいいらっしゃいませ。
Ah, we're just back. We're just getting right into it, huh?
特製のフランクフルトはいかがですか。はいよ。シロップはイチゴにメロンにブルーハワイがあるよ。おみくじたこ焼きいかがですか。あたりにはマスタードがげっしり。
There are a great many booths at this year's Higurashi Festival. I think it can become a festival if there are vendors selling food and music for bond dances, I thought. It's still June, but it has been extremely hot the past few days, almost as if it's already summer. When you have a June festival with bond dance music under this kind of weather, the only thing that's missing to make it a perfect summer festival is fireworks. Oh, we're going from the perspective of Oshi. I heard a voice coming from my portable radio. With this year phone, it looks like a little like I'm secretly listening to the horse races while I'm doing it.
はい、おいしです。感度良好。
紹介の皆さんから差し入れをものすごいたくさんいただいてます。おでんに焼きそば、もつ煮込みに、あと、麦茶の差し入れも。
その麦茶、勤務中に飲める麦茶？飲めない麦茶？その麦茶、缶ならもらっといてください。コップなら自体でお願いします。
はい、了解です。それと、紹介役員が挨拶に来てます。村長と、あと、園崎家の方からも。
お寮のばあさま？やだな。大石は巡回中でいつ戻ってくるかわからないとか言ってごまかせません？
Oh boy.
あんのばあさま、死ぬときは絶対脳梗塞ですね。了解了解。すぐに戻ると丁重にですよ。お伝えください。
Oh well, I guess I have to go back and mingle with the locals. All of a sudden, a group of kids came running forward towards me from behind. After a quick look at them, I noticed that they were the granddaughter of the old bag and her friends. They occupied a corner of the shooting gallery stall, making a loud noise. Mion Sonozaki. When acting her age, she's a cute, normal girl. But do I ever hate it when she acts like a member of the Sonozaki family? Yeah, me too, man. She'll be the boss of the Okayama Yakuza territory in 10 or 20 years. Just you wait and see. And while I was faking things like that, I noticed that Mion wasn't the one taking leadership of her group this time. It was the boy. That boy. I know him. We just moved here recently. A boy from the Maribara mansion. Kechi Maribara-kun, was it? I heard that the Maribara family is from the city, and they're supposedly very rich too. But he doesn't flaunt his family's wealth, and he has a good reputation because of that. Even though he just moved here, he's already adjusted to his new school, and he's popular with his classmates too. Everyone in the village seems to like him as well. He's very interesting to watch, as a person of many moods. Boys of his age sure have a lot of energy. To be young again.
おい、次はレナだぜ。ここでレナはかなり美味しいタイミングだぜ。
大丈夫レナ？具合悪いんじゃないの？ごめん。ちょっと射的は横で見てたいかな。
She's still sick.
なら無理をしないで休んでいるといいのです。
This is another kind of parallel to chapter 1 with like Kechi being kind of sick after when was it? What was the event that like caused him to be sick? I think it was after the Mochi incident. Pretty sure, yeah. It's very good to have the, like, I still have the freshness of chapter 1 for free events in my head right now, which is good, I think, particularly for this chapter.
レナさんを飛ばしてここでいよいよ真打ち。私の出番でございましてよ。
It looked like only 4 of them were having a good time. The girl called Rena seemed outside of that circle of smiles. Her name is Rena Rigu. What was her real name? Couldn't remember. I can check when I get back to the station. Rena is only a nickname. I believe she moved here a year before Marabara-kun did. Her mother divorced her father, or something like that. She's a strong girl who does all the housework by herself. She's a very modest girl, I'm told, which is rare in this era. Unlike Marabara-kun, it seemed like she hadn't really opened up to her friends just yet. They had worked like a group of 5, but there's distance between her and the others. It's a little sad, you know. Marabara-kun has become a part of the village, but Rena's still by herself. Well, that's just how it looks to me. Did they find the bodies?
地域のお祭りにまで挨拶に来るなんて、うちの所長は地域交流に豆だな。
Nah, they wouldn't have found the bodies yet. I mean, still the Higurashi.
沖宮の祭りに来たって話は聞いたことないのに。
ああ、こちら高杉です。大石さん聞こえますか？どうぞ。どうぞ。
はいはい、大石です。ただいま全速力で帰還中ですよ。もう1分ほどお待ちを。
If I don't hurry up, even the chief might end up calling me. I went back to the headquarters tent. Okay, they went to the stream. Tomiki played the shooting gallery like in chapter 1. And well, now he's dead. Just like that, we see Tomiki for a second and he's dead. Alright.
ああ、どうもどうも。どうですか、入江の先生。
Hoshi entered the Kurnoth area. And there, people for forensics were taking pictures of the corpse from various angles. Ire was squatting down next to the dead body of Juro Tomarke. When he stood up, he looked pale. Also, I completely forgot this until Ire showed up. In chapter 3, when Kachi is trying to escape, he overhears, Ire saying, like, I'll put a sedative in his drink to calm him down. He asks to the male staff member he's talking to, how many male staff members are there in the building still. The other doctor says there's 1 mountain dog and 3 others, free, including us. Now the question is, what the hell is a mountain dog? Why the hell would they refer to something as a mountain dog? Which is, I'm just, you're right. What the hell are you doing? I don't trust you.
そりゃ私だって信じられませんよ。初見で見た限り、仏は喉をかきむしっています。それも自分の手でです。こいつはまっとうな死に方じゃない。十中八九、何らかのヤバめな薬物でしょう。
彼は何らかの薬物の常習者だったということでしょうか。
さあね。そいつを調べるのはどうやら我々の仕事になりそうです。
大石さん、この角材は
多分仏が振り回したんじゃないかと思います。で、途中で捨てて喉をかくのが楽しくなっちゃったんじゃないかと。
薬剤を何のために振り回したんでしょう。
自衛のためと考えるのが一番自然だと思います。仏の体に外傷がいくつかあるのに気づいてます？
ええ、打撲傷を思わせる跡がいくつか散見できます。
ってことは一番考えられるストーリーは、仏が祭り終了後沖宮へ帰る途中、ここで何者かに襲われた。それで取り押さえられて怪しげな注射とかそういうのをされて、その結果錯乱させられて死に至らしめられた。
Which was most likely talk now.
喉をかきむしるように誘導できる薬物なんて聞いたことがありません。
私もそっちは専門じゃありませんが、薬物中毒の一つに自傷行為ってあるらしいじゃないですか。まあその辺はうちの鑑識のじい様が調べてくれるでしょう。
おいさん、失礼します。ここから数百メートルのところに富武二郎のものと思われる自転車が見つかりました。
Really?
お、そうですか。ありがとうございます。何か手がかりとかは？
いえ、初見では特には。今鑑識が言っています。
Is it Tomoki's bike or is it Takano's bike? Because she does mention, or could be why, she does mention that they both got the same model of bike.
じゃあつまりその自転車があった場所が襲撃場所と考えていいんでしょうね。それで戦ったり逃げたりしてここまで来た。
Oshi frowned, crossing his arms in front of his chest. Ire was looking at the miserable corpse of Tomoki, and he kept saying the same thing over and over.
ありえない。絶対にありえない。
Nothing's impossible in him as well.
ありえちゃったんだから仕方がないです。発想を柔軟にしましょう。まあ先生でもこんな死体はなかなか見慣れてるものじゃないか。先生はもう結構ですよ。お帰りになられて十分休んでください。救命活動でお呼びしたはずだったんですが、無駄足になってしまって申し訳ないです。
Oshi stuck his head out of the blue tent and asked, "Can everybody give him a ride home?" Ire gasped all of a sudden as he turned to Oshi.
そうだ。高野さんはどうなったんです？
え？お宅の看護師さんの？
多分富武さんと一緒だったと思うんです。高野さんは無事なんですか？
先生、彼女の電話番号はわかります？
もちろんです。
熊ちゃん、入江の先生に電話番号を聞いて署から在宅確認を取らせてください。
了解っす。先生、番号。
はい。よろしいですか
Kumagai got the phone number from Ire, repeated it back, and then dashed away from Blue Tarps.
先生、高野さんと仏は確か親しい仲でしたよね。
ええ。
何かトラブルがあったとか、そういうのは聞いたことがあります？
まさか。聞いたことないです。仲のいい二人でした。
何事もなけりゃいいんですがね。下手すりゃ仏か、それとも星か。
Or both, which is what I'm believing.
なるほど。看護師なら怪しげな薬物を取り扱えてもおかしくはないですよね。
そんな薬品はうちの診療所にはありませんし、あったとしても厳重に保管されています。高野さんに持ち出せるわけがない。
それでも一般人よりは容易でしょ。
ですから そもそもそんな薬物は聞いたことがないし、当診療所にも存在しません。
I mean, who says it comes from your clinic? Could come from
大石
something
さん、
else.
留守のようです。署の待機組の方で直接訪問すると言ってます。先生、すみませんが高野さんの住所を教えてください。
熊ちゃん、それプラス県警に今夜出た身元不明の女性死体がないか確認を取ってください。あるいは県外の可能性もあるな。課長に近県にも同様に身元不明の女性死体が出ていないか確認を取るよう伝えてください。
了解っす。
高野さんも殺されているということですか？
さてどうでしょうね。まだ外車とも星とも決まったわけじゃありません。もちろん無関係って可能性だって残ってます。明日は月曜だってのも構わず、その辺の飲み屋で飲んだくれてる可能性もありますからね。
信じられない。どうしてこんなことが。
まあ私だって信じられないです。ひなみ沢村連続開始事件、これで5年目ですよ。
And we're still not any closer to damn truth of him.
お社様のたたりが5連続ってことになっちまいます。さあ、なんとか今年で尻尾をつかんでやりたいな。定年前にこの山だけはなんとか片付けたいんです。
Oshi hates the curse of Oshiro-sama. Has been reading him around by the nose for 5 consecutive years. Man, me too. It's been handling me by the nose for a year, Oshi. I get you, my man. I feel you. The victim of the first year, the manager of the damn construction site, was his friend. Despite his desire to avenge his friend, the mystery had only deepened, and one case followed another year after year. Oshi would be retiring next March. As a retiree, he'd be able to ask about the progress of the investigation, but he wouldn't be able to take the initiative anymore. In other words, this year was his last chance for revenge. Would he have to put his head in the lion's mouth to capture the culprit? Oshi quietly clenched his fist. I believe that this maze has an exit. Maze is a very convenient word. A maze always has an exit. You don't call it a maze if it doesn't have one. I know I'm on the right path towards the exit of this maze. I used to miss these minor divergences, but now I don't miss anything. I don't make any mistakes. This time I could feel a response that was different than all the other times. I'm sure I can finally get to the exit of this maze. But no matter which path I chose to come to this point, Jiro Tomake always dies. What? Wait, huh? Who's saying that? Who knows that Toiki has always died? Besides us. Oh, what shit were you getting into, buddy? The next day. In school. Rena had been sick ever since that day, and she hadn't been able to join in our club activities as often since.
まだちょっと風邪っぽいの。
Still feeling sick, huh?
そうでございますの。それは残念ですわね。
It's almost as if the world is trying to reject, Rena becoming more open to her friends. Kind of the same thing that happened in Chapter 3, when, Ketchy finally took the initiative, killed Tepe, the world rejected it. I don't know what the hell is causing it, but you know, it's weird.
なあレナ、たまにはパーッとはしゃいでみないか。多分元気に遊べば吹っ飛ばせると思うんだよ俺は。
うんうん、そうだね。それはおじさんも同感だね。
そうかな。横になっている方がかえって毒になることもありますです。そうですわよね。病は気からとも言いますですわ。
Everybody had suspected for a while that Rena wasn't really sick, at least physically. It's just that many things happened to her at once, so she caught a mental cold. That's why I thought she would get better once she played with us, just like we used to. It seemed like Rena was aware of that too. She knew that she had to get out of her state of depression soon. She wanted to get better, and she wanted to have fun again every day.
よし、私も参加する。
オッケー。そう来なくちゃね。じゃあ今日はレナの病み上がりも少し加味してテーブルゲームから種目をチョイスしよう。
Let's play some Whisk.
何がいいかな、何がいいかな。
Mion started rummaging through her walker, humming to herself. She took one game after another from the walker and put them aside. That walker definitely didn't obey the laws of physics. The amount of games she took out from the walker was more than what it could physically hold.
お、こんなのもあったね。久しぶりにやってみようか。今日は本格派推理ゲームでいこう。
Ah, Clue again.
ほう、なんだよそれ。
Yeah, very much mirroring Chapter 1.
面白そうだな。
ね、犯人と凶器、犯行現場の3つを当てるゲームなの。結構頭を使うんだよ。
一度やればすぐに覚えてしまいます。ちゃんとメモに整理していけば大丈夫なのです。情報の整理にはちょっとしたコツがありますのよ。知的な私の最も得意とするジャンルでございますわね。
The rules don't seem that difficult. In short, it's a game where you sound out the cards each player holds in order to try and reason out the identity of the cards first drawn out of the deck. There are plenty of games in different formats where you try to identify something hidden in the least number of steps. This one just happens to be a competitive one of those. The key to winning this game would be how well you can organize your information. We usually like to play athletic games so that we can run around a lot, but in our club, you have to excel both academically and athletically.
よしよしよし、なんだか面白くなってきやがった。
Yeah, it would be great if I even knew what the fuck the murder weapon was. If we're taking Clue as like a metaphor for this damn game, it's like we have the victim, but like the murder weapon and culprit could literally be anybody.
やろうぜやろうぜ。レナ、今日こそ曖昧になってる。あの水鉄砲勝負の時の白黒をつけてやる。
Or maybe the answer is in plain sight, literally right in front of me.
そうだね。よーし、レナも本気で行くからね。レナが本気なら僕も本気を出さないといけませんです。ですわね。あの水鉄砲の一件以来、ケイイチさんとレナさんの評価を改めましてよ。容赦なく行かせていただきますわ。
よしよし、盛り上がってきたね。おじさんもこういう暑さを期待してたんだよ。よし、行ってみよう。
よし行くぜ。俺がナイフで書斎はどうだ。
あるよ。レナはね、ケイイチくん毒薬で玄関ホールだよ。私はこ これですわね。ミオン、ピストル、ラウンジですわ。
ピストルはあんたが持ってるんでしょ。下手なフェイクは意味ないよ。
犯人と凶器は特定できたと思います。犯行現場が2択なのです。はあ、リカちゃんも？私は犯人が2択で特定できない。コツは相手の質問内容からも何かのヒントを得ることですのよ。それが分かれば時には相手の手札で答えが分かることもありましたよ。
なるほどな。くそ、甘く見てたか。やべえ、メモがぐちゃぐちゃで意味がわからなくなった。
I feel you, brother.
メモに書き取るコツが分かればこのゲームは7割方攻略したも同然だね。
This is why I type out all my notes instead.
ま、7割程度じゃおじさんには勝てないけどさ。
I kind of knew I didn't stand a chance of winning this game, but I gradually started picking it up. Lena seemed to be getting her energy back as she played along. It was the right decision to force her to play with us today. While we were in the middle of the game, Chi-sensei came into the classroom.
楽しそうですね。ところで竜宮さんはいますか？竜宮さんにお客様が来ています。
Everybody looked puzzled. Is she going to get visited by Oshi? Parents sometimes show up at school for some reason, but Chi-sensei never called them visitors. It's rare to have a visitor at school.
なんだろう。ちょっと行ってくるね。みんなは部活続けててね。
Oh my god, it happened during the same exact game too. When I left the classroom at a 1.
どうする？待ってるか？
どれだけかかる用事かわからないからね。レナもああ言ってたことだし、私たちは続けようか。
ああ！
Around the entrance, the glowing sun and the cool shade made for a clear contrast. Yup. Oh my god, yup, this is mirroring chapter 1. Okay. Alright, let's go. An old man who was holding his jacket on his arm was waiting for me. He looked like he was overheating and his tie was limp.
竜宮さんですか。竜宮レイナさん。
Ever since Rena called me Rena, I've hated that name more than ever because of that. Didn't have a good first impression of this man. Does this... No, I think this very much implies. Does this mean the reason why Oshi went to Kechi in the first, first 3 chapters pretty much, was because he always noticed that Kechi was the one odd man out of the group? And now since he noticed it with Rena... or with Rena, he decided to go to her instead. That has to be it. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense for a very close-circuited village. I've hated that name more than ever because of that. Didn't have a good first impression of this man.
そうですよ。どちら様ですか？
私の車はエアコンが効いてますからそっちでお話ししましょう。
Exact same line.
ここ暑くありません？
He ignored my question and started walking towards the car parked in front of the school gate. If he wanted to talk about something normal, he would have used the teacher's office. But he wanted to talk in his car instead. Couldn't help but feel suspicious. Chi-sensei let him see me, though. That meant he wasn't a suspicious individual as far as she was concerned. Who was he?
取って食いやしません。どうぞどうぞ。
He called out to me while opening the rear door. Is he a policeman? Did the police find out I killed those two? Different murder. I felt anxious all of a sudden. Was this what they called a voluntary interview? I didn't want to go in that car, but if I rejected his offer, it'd only make me look suspicious. I prepared myself and got in. It was really cool inside his car. The car I see has cost a fortune. At least my father's car doesn't have one.
冷えすぎだったら言ってくださいよ。私ガンガンに冷やしちゃうたちですから。
で、私に何の用ですか?
In retaliation, I ignored his question and got to the point like he did. He pulled a small notebook out of his breast pocket and flipped through it. He picked out a photo from it. The photo showed the face of a goofy-looking man.
この男性のことでご存知のことがあったら教えてください。
Goofy man. The man in the picture was expressionless and looked half asleep. Sometimes you can't even recognize your own family members in a photo where they don't have an expression. So there's no way I would recognize a person who wasn't related to me. But anyway, that was a bit of a relief. This had nothing to do with Rena or her partner.
シャツにマジックで落書きがありましてね。
Bingo.
リュウグさんをはじめクラスメート何人かの署名入りでした。
Okay.
これ、富武さん?
I didn't feel his usual carefree unreliableness from this picture at all. From this half-awake, emotionless face.
では、こちらの女性はわかりますか?
I knew what he was going to show.
ミオさんです。高野ミオさん。
二人に最後に会ったのはいつですか?
綿流しの祭りのお開きになった直後くらいにあったと思います。
何か気になったこととかありませんか? 何でも結構です。
I mean, they broke into the virtual storehouse, but we wouldn't know that.
話してください。
富武さんたちに何かあったんですか?
Also, another thing to note about Chapter 3. I know I keep going back to Chapter 3, but I keep remembering things as we're continuing on. In Chapter 3, after the whole world, like, goes strange in Kechi's mind, everyone talks about how, you know, Kechi went to the one at Higurashi, and they describe events that's a mix of, like, both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, such as the shooting gallery, which is from Chapter 1, and Shion trying to bring Kechi over somewhere, but he declined, kind of like in Chapter 2. But the one thing that was out of place was the fact that Rika found Kechi in front of the storehouse, and that the mayor scolded him for it. Which is very weird. Like, why would this Kechi go in the front of the ritual storehouse? I don't know what to make of it, but it's something to take note of.
Yosha! 取った!実はよ、レナとミオンで二択だったんだよな。
じゃあ、博打だったんですの? なんてリスクのあることを。それでも勝ちは勝ちなのですよ。
お、レナだ。おかえり。ずいぶん時間かかったね。
Mio noticed that Rena had returned. She looked exhausted. I have no idea what she talked about with the visitor, but it was obvious it wasn't something fun.
レナ、大丈夫?
何大丈夫って。
いや、顔色だよ。青いというか、白いというか。本当に大丈夫?
Rena tried to convince us she was fine, but her face clouded over for a moment and she decided to leave her away. I shouldn't have forced her to join the game. I was regretting it a little. Rena probably forced herself to play with us even though she wasn't feeling well at all. Rena put her stuff in her bag, apologized to us for leaving her early, and left the classroom.
まあ、仕方ありませんわね。
No, I'm kind of liking this, you know, interesting perspective we've gone through. Like, First, in chapter 3, we gone into the perspective of the murderer. Now we've gone into the perspective of kind of like the side character, which is very cool. Very cool in my opinion.
ではせめて私たちの白黒ははっきりさせようじゃございませんの。
そうだね。次は誰の番だっけ？
よっしゃリカちゃん来やがれ。
And also, it's very much something of like, we know the intricacies of Himizawa by this point. Like, we know like the ins and outs of this place. So it's like the author really doesn't need to explain everything to us. Like, for example, we know, Takano and Tabuki, Oshi explained their deaths to Rena here, and, kind of like in the first chapter. First of all, I wasn't very close to Mio-san. I knew who she was, so I greeted her whenever we happened to pass by. But that was about it. I never really talked to her except for that one time. And that time was only recently. It was between the day of Wanakagashi Festival and the day I was caught in the act of burying the 2 corpses by Kechi-kun and my other friends. I had a phone call from the library that evening, and I was told that my father needed to return the book he borrowed. He was shopping at the home improvement store at the time, so I went to the library to return the book for him. While I was there, I thought about borrowing some books for myself, and I started walking around the library. I saw her there.
あら、レナちゃんじゃないかしら。こんにちは。
ミオさん、どうもこんにちは。図書館で会うなんて珍しいですね。
そう？私にとってみれば、あなたが図書館にいることの方が珍しいんだけどね。
Very much mirroring chapter 5. She smiled in the very attractive and charming way that only mature women can do. Her smiles gave no indication that she knew her death was just a few days away. She said that she often met with Tomiki-san at the library. It seemed like she had some time to kill, so she told me she wanted to buy me a drink. I had nothing to do after that. I let her buy me a canned iced milk tea from the vending machine in the library, and we talked for a while. Once I came to think about it, it was a little ironic. She mostly talked about the series of mysterious deaths in Himizawa. She had no idea that she was going to be the victim of the 5th year.
連続開始事件ですか？
あら、聞いたことくらいあるでしょ？
From what I remember, it's always Niue, Takano, or Tomiki that informs the protagonist of that certain chapter of the series of mysterious deaths. Chapter 1, it was sketchy. Chapter 2, it was no, they did inform him about it, yeah, because of the whole thing. I was going to say, like, well, I mean, I guess Shion was the one that introduced it to Kechi at first. No, I'm pretty sure it was No, and Tomiki, if I remember correctly. Chapter 3, same thing. It's very patterns. You gotta look for patterns in this game.
4年前にはダムの現場監督、3年前には北条夫妻、2年前にはフルデ夫妻、そして去年は聡子ちゃんのおばが犠牲になったひなみ沢村連続開始事件よ。それがあと何日かで5年目を迎えるじゃない？
一応私もそういう物騒な名前で呼ばれていることは知ってますけど、でも5年目も起こると決まったわけじゃ。
起こるわよ、絶対にね。2度あることは3度あるってことわざがあるけど、4度あることは5度あるって方がもっと確率は高いとは思わない？
Mio-san was convinced that the 5th mysterious death was going to happen, but she didn't know she was going to be the 5th victim. That's ironic, and also really creepy. But there was always something creepy about her. Tell me about it. So maybe she knew that she was going to be killed in a few days, but still managed to make that mysterious smile. The series of mysterious deaths in Himizawa. Of course, I know about it. I've lived here for more than a year. Every year on the day of Wanakagashi Festival, one traitor to the village dies mysteriously. It's been that way since the dam conflict. Each case was solved individually, but mysterious incidents still happen every year. It makes me wonder if there's some kind of will to all of this. The creepiness and incomprehensibility of it all gave rise to the name The Curse of Oshio-sama, which fits perfectly. Despite this, I always thought The Curse of Oshio-sama was just a series of coincidences. My reason for that is because I strongly believe that Satoshi-kun was the one who murdered his aunt in the 4th year. Jeez, pretty much everyone knows that Satoshi did it. I don't know. That's just so funny to me. Like, yeah, we all know Satoshi did it, but we can't prove it. I don't have any evidence, but I just know it. I know that Satoshi-kun was in a serious predicament last year and that he had nowhere to turn. He had no one to help him, but he had to save Sadako-chan as soon as he could. Satoshi-kun fought it through and made the best choice he could to handle the situation, just like I did when I had my problem with Rena. I hesitated to inform Mio-san that Satoshi-kun was the murderer in the 4th year, so I just listened to her for a while. According to her theory, the series of mysterious deaths isn't just a set of coincidences, but is instead a series of interrelated murder cases. At that point, my theory is completely the opposite of hers, but I decided not to cut in.
南沢のお社様信仰は知ってるわよね。
Takano-san started telling me that Himizawa was once called Ongufuchi. She also explained the story of how the villagers were in the old days, showing me the scrapwork she was so proud of. The villagers back then were called man-eating demons, but they were also admitted as transcendents and wanted people not bound by earthly desires.
つまりミオさんの説によるならば、連続開始事件はお社様を崇拝する信心深い団体がひなみ沢に潜んでいて、お社様の力を世に示そうとしているということなんですか？
信心深いというか原理主義的というかは紙一重だけどね。明治以降、村の名前がひなみ沢に変わって以来、鬼ヶ淵村が長く続けてきたさまざまな風習が途絶えている。それをよみがえらせ、再び鬼ヶ淵村の名と威風を取り戻そうと思っている人たちがいるんじゃないかしら。
This is an interesting theory, but I feel like if they wanted to do that, if it's really just a cult of Oshiro-sama, when they kill them in a more ritualistic way, I mean, they do have, a bunch of torture implements in the ritual storehouse, right? And, the whole original intention of Wanakagashi, spilling guts everywhere. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a cult. Mio-san's theory was more than a little crazy, but it was also fascinating. At first, her theory had sounded like she just was jumping to conclusions, but after she eagerly showed me the document she'd been studying, I started to think that it wasn't actually too far from truth. If her theory was true, it would mean that the accidental deaths of the Hojo couple in the 2nd year, the suicide and the death by disease of the Fruit couple in the 3rd year, the drug addict murderer in the 4th year were all cooked up. It means someone who has a lot of power and influence over the police was involved. When I pointed that out, Mio-san nodded in agreement, and she started talking about how strongly they were rooted in the village and how deeply they were involved with many public organizations. She's going to say Sonozaki family. After she finished explaining all that, I finally noticed that Mio-san was suggesting that the 3 families, including the Sonozaki family, were the masterminds behind the murder incidents. In fact, the Sonozaki family really is very powerful. They hold influence not only over Himizawa and Okayama, but also over the entire Shishiborn area. It might not be wrong to say that they even hold influence over the entire prefecture. If the Sonozaki family is behind all of this, her theory would be more realistic. But that means I should be suspicious of Mi-chan. No, I shouldn't. But In fact, Michan was very cold and unkind to Satoshi-kun when he was going through a rough time. I know there was conflict between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family during the Dam Wars, but still, she was very cold to Satoshi-kun. But Michan admitted that what she did was wrong, and I forgave her too. I didn't want to think about that again. I decided to change the subject because I knew it would make me feel uncomfortable if we kept talking about the Sonozaki family.
そもそもお社様信仰って一体何なんでしょうね。
So that pretty much confirms my suspicion of the, in chapter 3 where Kechi asked Takano who's the one behind all of this, or who she thinks is behind all of this. She definitely said Sonozaki family.
鬼と人が共存というのも面白い話です。普通の昔話だったら鬼が来たら退治してやっつけるという風なのに。
そうね。そのあたりがお社様信仰の面白いところね。でもそもそも神の国から神が漂着してきて崇められるというのは決して珍しいことではないのよ。漂着神崇拝って言ってね、世界中に海の向こうからあるいは川上から神が漂着してきて、それを人々が敬ったという類の神話が残されているわ。
Drifted gods.
それは偉人漂着の話でしょうか。
そういう捉え方も一般的ね。古代日本は大陸に比べるとさまざまな文化が遅れていた。だから進んだ文化を持った異国人が漂着した結果、その知識を敬い神と祀ったというのはありえなくもない話よね。
そういえば日本に伝わる赤鬼や青鬼もナンパして漂着した異国人のことを指すのではないかという説がありましたね。天狗のいわゆる真っ赤で鼻が異様に高い顔も欧米人を見慣れない古代の人々が作り上げたのかもしれないし。
あら、レナちゃんもなかなか鋭い見方ができるわね。それには私も同感よ。大方の漂着神信仰の原点は私も偉人漂着にあると思うわ。でもそうだとすると、鬼ヶ淵村の鬼が現れたとする漂着神信仰にはちょっと不思議な点がある。わかるかしら？
わからないです。
簡単よ。鬼ヶ淵村には海がない。
あ、確かに。
Yeah, it is Randwalk.
偉人漂着なら外の世界とつながる接点が欠かせないはずよ。欧米なら異国に通じる川、日本なら世界に接する海。だから日本における漂着神崇拝もそのほとんどは沿岸部に集中するわね。
鬼ヶ淵村以外に漂着し、そこから旅をしてここまでやってきた可能性はありませんか？
ところがお社様信仰の決定的なところは、鬼が漂着した場所を鬼ヶ淵沼とはっきり特定している点なの。鬼ヶ淵沼には何も流れ着かない。そんなところになぜどこから漂着したのか。実はこの辺にお社様信仰の謎を探る面白さがあるのよ。
Huh.
お社様の伝説はどの程度知ってるかしら？
学校に置いてある絵本で読んだ程度です。
I feel like I know a lot about it, but I actually don't. I just have an extreme fear of the rule not to leave Himizawa. After all, my life went wrong after I left. I felt dizzy when I tried to think about it further, so I stopped. When everything went wrong in Nebaki, I met Oshiro-sama and he told me to go back to Himizawa. No, no, no. I'll get dizzy. Don't try to remember. Don't try to remember. I can't remember. I can't remember. I got desperate because I felt responsible for the divorce. I just used Oshiro-sama as an excuse for my mental instability, and I told my father I wanted to go back to Imzawa, right? But wait, Oshiro-sama did come to me. Oh no, the colors are too dazzling. I can only remember the vivid color of the pills and the dizziness.
それだけ知ってれば十分よ。鬼が淵より鬼が湧き出し、村人を襲った。それを見かねたお社様が降臨して鬼たちを平服させたわ。鬼たちは地獄を追放され、行き場がないことを嘆き、それで村人たちは鬼たちを気の毒に思って村に住まわせてあげようと決めた。そしてお社様は村人たちの心に感銘を受け、鬼たちに人の姿を与え、村に共存させたという。その血は次第に交わり、村人たちに溶け込んでいった。
そうです。そういう話だったと思います。
I felt dizzy, like I was going to faint because I touched the only memory I didn't want to.
神話の多くは古代の何らかの事実を原型にしていると言われることが多いんだけど、
Yeah.
レナちゃんはこの神話から何を読み取れるかしら？
Because I was still feeling dizzy, all I could do was tilt my head quizzically. Soon Mio-san was expecting that response because she smiled, looking satisfied that she successfully made me confused. She took a scrapbook out of her paper bag.
これ、レナちゃんに貸してあげるわ。
ありがとうございます。
Just like Chapter 5.
でも私、
いいのよ。暇な夜長にでも思い出したら読んでくれれば結構。レナちゃんは鋭いところがあるみたいだから、それを読んだ上で今度じっくり議論を交わしたいわね。私も肯定的であれ敵対的であれ、議論の相手がいなくて寂しいのよ。二郎さん、こういうのにはさっぱり興味のない人だし。
I had little choice but to take the scrapbook. Apparently Mio-san came to the library often, so I figured I could return it to her whenever I came to return my books. However, the day I returned the scrapbook to Mio-san never came.
どうしたの？さっきからうつろね。体調悪いの？
ちょっと夏風邪気味ね。まだ病み上がりなんです。
It wasn't the summer cold that was making me feel dizzy. I always get dizzy when I try to remember the time I met Oshiro-sama in Baki. I mustered all my courage and asked her. My memory of those days in Ibaki is blurry. I know I met Oshiro-sama. Nobody believed me and they told me it was just a hallucination. But I thought Mio-san would listen to me.
ミオさん、今度は私の話を聞いてもらってもいいですか？
Oh boy. Let's see how this turns out.
いいわよ。聞いてもらったお返しに今度は私が聞くわ。
いえ、お社様の話なんです。笑われないかとても不安です。
笑わないわよ。あなたも私の話を笑わなかったもの。
Mio-san said it in a very gentle and mature way, and that encouraged me. Even so, I still hesitated to talk, but there's probably nobody but Mio-san with whom I could talk about something like this. I gathered my courage again and spoke.
私、お社様に会ったことがあるんです。
本当に？
はい。私、小学校に上がる前まではひなみ沢に住んでいたんです。それが母の仕事の関係で茨城に引っ越したんです。この意味はわかりますよね？
わかるわよ。ひなみ沢を離れてはならないというお社様の禁忌に触れたということね。
そうです。 それでいろいろ悪いことが起こって母が離婚し、家庭はぐちゃぐちゃになりました。私も自暴自棄になって悪いことをしたりしました。
辛いこともあったのね。それで
世の中の何もかもが嫌になって、自分以外の幸せな人たち全部が私を見下しているように感じた最後の頃、不思議な存在が現れるようになったんです。
それがお社様？
初めて現れたのは内緒ですよ。全部嫌になって自分を壊してしまいたいと思って、体に刃物を突きつけたことがあったんです。
Jeez.
その時首をカミソリで切りつけたら、血に混じってブクブクと汚らしい何かが溢れ出したんです。それは
バカにしないわよ。続けて。
The chill I felt at the time came back to me. I sealed that memory away so that I wouldn't have to remember ever again. But once I unsealed it, I started remembering things one after another. Yes, back then there was something in the blood, something crawling.
赤黒い無数の何か。それらは首から血がこぼれるのと一緒にわらわらと湧き出してきました。しかもそいつらは外へ溢れまいと傷口から再び中へ戻っていこうと、わらわらって。私そんな気持ち悪いのに体内に戻られたくなくって書きました。首の傷をひっかいてほじくり出そうとしました。
Jesus.
でもそれ以上は痛くて血まみれになるばかりで、それで私は急に怖くなりました。私の体の中には血管いっぱいにあの気持ち悪いのがぎっしり詰まってるんじゃないかって。それで私は試しにカミソリで股の血管を開いてみました。そこならよく見えると思ったから。そしたら溢れてきたんです。ドバッと、わらわらっと。
I understand, Ryugu-san, so please calm down.
分かってないってば。そいつらは血と一緒にドバッと溢れ出すけど、すぐに元の血管の中に戻ろうとする。それがとてもかゆいんです。
Jesus. Please bring a doctor. No, don't crawl out of it like that. Bring me a sedative. Hurry. Hold her down.
私の血管の中のやつをやっつけて、血を全部抜いてきれいにして。私の血管には変なのがいっぱい詰まってるの。どうして信じないの？見せてあげるから。見れば信じるでしょ。注射は嫌。
落ち着いて。
Mio-san sat next to me and held my hands tightly. Her touch brought me back to reality.
それでどうしたの？
そんな誰も私のことを信じてくれない時に現れたんです。お社様が。
The memory was very vague, and I saw flickering lights. It made it difficult for me to remember. I met Oshiro-sama. That sentence is all I remembered. The memory of actually meeting Oshiro-sama was unbelievably vague. After I got out of the hospital, I continued being treated at home. I still felt something moving in my veins, so I wanted to cut my body to make the blood ooze out so that I could make sure that there were no maggots in there. Usually I was sleeping like the dead because of the strong pills I was taking. But one day I forgot to take the pill. My consciousness was very clear. I felt the maggots moving in my veins, and I felt the urge to look inside. I cut a vein on my wrist. I knew it. A lot of blood and many dusky red maggots came out from the wound. I wanted to wash them off before they crawled back inside me, so I put my wrist under running water in the bathroom sink and I tried to open the vein. my god. Water, blood, and maggots rained down into the train. Just like squeezing out the pus from a pimple, I squeezed the vein to get rid of the dirty blood and the maggots. I kept doing it. My arms started to feel numb and I felt cold, but I kept doing it. I thought I might die from losing too much blood, but I kept doing it. My body was filled with maggots. I had to squeeze all my blood out of me. And then a very bright light shone upon me. It was a very bizarre sensation. I had never experienced anything like it in my life. All of a sudden, the dark bathroom was filled with a bright light. It was very bright but gentle. It wasn't like the light from the merciless fluorescent bulb. It was very warm and gentle. That was Oshio-sama. Oshio-sama was looking at me with gentleness and sadness in his eyes. As he touched my wound, the maggots started melting and disappeared in front of my eyes. That wasn't all. All the maggots I were moving through all my veins disappeared too. Oshio-sama taught me. These maggots were the curse. People of the demon's blood can't live outside of Himizawa. It's the rule. Unfortunately, you've been cursed. It's very sad and I feel sorry for you. There's only one way to save you. That's what he said. What should I do? The answer was very simple. All I needed to do was go back to Himizawa. I unconsciously knew that before I heard it from Oshio-sama. People who were born in Himizawa must never leave. But I broke Oshio-sama's rules and I left Himizawa. That's why my family is broken. I lost my mind. If I hadn't left Himizawa, nothing would have gone wrong. So I had to go back. Oshio-sama also told me this. You could make the maggots, the embodiment of the curse, disappear, but only temporarily, because he lived far from Himizawa. After a while, the power of Oshio-sama would fade away. The curse would start eating my body again. If that happened, the maggots would take over my body, and I would go insane and die. I must go back to Himizawa, for his power to hold down the curse faded away. That's what Oshio-sama told me. He did. I heard him tell me that. I should have gone back to Himizawa earlier. That's why Oshio-sama came to me to put his curse on me. But he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to pay for my sin of living in Himizawa. Dad, listen, Oshio-sama is going to help us. Let's go back to Himizawa. Himizawa is the place where we must live. If we don't, not only me, but you might be cursed too. Let's go back to Himizawa. That's the only place where we can live. We need to hurry. We need to hurry or Oshio-sama's power will fade away and my body will be eaten by the maggots. Oh no, Oshio-sama's following me. He's telling me to hurry. He follows me everywhere and he keeps telling me to hurry. He keeps apologizing to me for putting his curse on me. He follows me everywhere and keeps apologizing. I'm telling you the truth. I am. Why can't anybody see it? Why can't they see the maggots or Oshio-sama? Everybody's trying to fool me. I know they can see them too. No, please stop. I don't want to go with another shot. Fucking shit, dude. Oh my god. That... Whoa. Wolf. Oh my god. Just when I thought, like, there can't be any more disturbing imagery you can put into this game, he goes ahead and does that. Maggots in your damn thing. Whoa. Jesus Christ. I was breathing hard, and Mio-san was holding my shoulders. I could feel that the terrible memory I'd been trying to forget was awakening. The doctors told me that the memory was just my delusion. They told me that since I blamed myself for the divorce, I unconsciously had a desire to blame someone else for it, and I consciously connected the desire to the folktale of Oshio-sama that I read when I was little. I got drug treatment, received counseling, and waited. I gradually got better, and that proved the things I saw were just a hallucination. The doctors asked my father to consider moving to Himizawa if possible. Fortunately, he wanted to change his living environment to heal his pain from the divorce as well. So we came back to Himizawa. After he came back to Himizawa, I felt it. I felt it in my bones that this was the place we should live. And I also felt Oshio-sama's pressing. I definitely felt it. I felt the curse of Oshiro-sama starting to break. I was free. After I moved here, I went to the clinic in Gorgirwa for a while. The doctor gave me the same poisonous-looking pills and kept taking them for a while. Terrible memory gradually became unclear. Whenever I tried to remember it, I could only remember the strong side effect of the pills and it made me dizzy. That's how I regained my peace. And then I changed my name, Rena. The reason why was because my name reminded me of those bad memories. I didn't want to have anything icky in my life anymore. That's why I came up with the idea of taking icky things out. After I took the I of icky out from my name, Rena, there was only Ri and Na left. That's how Rena was born. I like that. When I was introduced to my classmates, I told them to call me Rena. Since then, that had been my name. I'm living my new life as Rena. I cut away all the sad things that happened when I was Rena. My father still calls me Rena, but I don't feel bad as long as it's just my father and my relatives. But then Rena came into my life one day and she called me Rena. Because she called me Rena, those colored lights started flickering again. I should stop, I should forget about it. The lights were still flickering.
すみません。私、だいぶ取り乱してました。
小声で何かつぶやいてたわね。落ち着いたならよかったわ。
Judging by Miho-san's reaction, I wasn't panicking as badly as I thought I was. But I probably had those panicked hallucinations several times. If I started screaming and yelling like I once did, they'd take me away to a hospital again for sure.
私はあの異常な中で確かにお社様に会ったんです。もちろん不気味な何かも。信じられませんよね。
Miho-san smiled, looking a little confused. Couldn't blame her. I didn't expect her to believe it. I'm sure it was just a strange memory I crafted for myself in my hallucinations. I can't believe I can trust myself. That's the worst feeling of all.
レナちゃん、まず一つ安心してほしいの。
はい。
レナちゃんが怖がっているたたり、つまり血の中にいたという変なもの、それはお社様が言うにはひなみ沢にいる限りは大丈夫なんでしょ？
ええ、そう言ってました。
なら怯えることはないじゃない。安心して。あなたは今ひなみ沢にいる。まあこの図書館は沖宮だけど、このくらいの距離ならお社様も許してくれるわね。
But if Himizawa is supposed to be, this safe haven, why the hell are these murders happening? You know? Why are they happening? Why are this series of tragic events still happening? You know, let's say it truly is mythological. There's truly an Oshiro-sama as a god in this game, right? Why would he command these people to die? Because they were traitors? Because from Rena's interpretation of Oshiro-sama, it seems like the god is, sorry for them. That they should go back to Himizawa. That he or she, do we know that yet? I mean, it's a god, so he or she, they, better word, they put this curse on these people, but they're sorry for it. So what? Why are they causing all these different incidences? To most of them happened in Himizawa. Why would they do that? Why would the god do that if Himizawa is supposed to be a safe haven? Why? Going from the mythological point perspective in this game.
血管の内側に 何かが騒いでいるなんて感じないでしょ。
それははい。
だから安心して。あなたは今お社様の戒律をちゃんと守ってる。だから何も恐れなくていいの。だってそうでしょね。
はい。はい。
I didn't know until then that she was such a warm-hearted person. I met many doctors and talked to them about this, but they always ignored me. Didn't really listen. All they did was give me a shot of the drug I hated. On the other hand, Mio-san didn't deny my story or the existence of Osho-sama. People in this village whispered behind her back that she's a little crazy, but she was actually a very kind person. I thought.
レナちゃん、私は今の話全部信じるわ。
ありがとうございます。そう言ってくれた人は初めてかもです。
それは私も同じよ。私の話をバカにしないでちゃんと聞いてくれた人はあなたが初めて。私たちいい友達になれそうね。
Mio-san smiled, touching my head with hers.
なら私の秘蔵のファイルとスクラップも貸してあげるわね。
Secret files.
本当に本当の門外不出。私以外の誰にも見せる気がなかったんだけど、レナちゃんには特別に読ませてあげてもいい気がするわ。あなたならバカにしないでちゃんと読んでくれそうな気がするし。
She took a few scrapbooks out of her paper bag and handed them to me.
ぜひ読んで感想を聞かせてね。あるいはひょっとするとレナちゃんにしかわからないことなのかもしれない。
Mio-san was acting mysteriously. She smiled mischievously and put her index finger on her lips as a sign to keep it a secret.
あとこのスクラップ帳と私がそういう研究しているのは内緒よ。
内緒ですか？はい、わかりました。
だってこんな研究をしているのが連中に知られたら消されてしまうかもしれないものね。
She laughed after she said that. Studying what? They might erase her. That's what she said. And she went missing. She left me her scrapbooks. But that's not all there is to it. It's the way Tomiki-san died. Oh, He whipped out his throat. The 3 victims of that damn syringe, they all whipped out their throats, right? What if that drug causes the same hallucination Rena went through of maggots being in their veins, and they scratched them out? Now the question is, wait a fucking minute. Did she get the shots before she was starting to cut herself? Or was it after? Because, okay, so the effect of that queer drug causes you to have a hallucination of maggots being in your blood, so you just scratch out your fucking throat and, pretty much kill yourself. So, that has to mean that Rena must have been administered the same drug outside of Himizawa. But whoever's the group that's developing this damn drug, why would they give it to some random fucking girl that's from Himizawa? A test run? To see the effectiveness of it? Okay, we're getting into some shit right here. Oh my god. Oshi-san that he committed suicide because of a state of exhaustion caused by using some kind of drug. But I know what really happened. I didn't tell Oshi-san about it. I don't think he'd have believed me even if I told him. Without a doubt, Tomiki-san died trying to get rid of the maggots. It was nothing other than the curse of Oshio-sama. To never leave him as isn't the only rule of Oshio-sama. There are more. He might have broken one of them without knowing it. Oshi-san told me. Tomiki-san was taking pictures with his camera flash during the sacred ritual dance, and some people got mad at him for it. Did Oshio-sama put his curse on Tomiki because he violated the sacred ritual dance? Might be for another reason. Anyway, he died from the curse of Oshio-sama, without a doubt. Did that mean Oshio-sama put his curse on Mio-san too? Investigating the gods is the same as getting close to the gods. It's disrespecting them. But Mio-san told me that they might get rid of her if they found out about her investigation. By they, she meant humans. Plus, according to her theory, the three families are in a conspiracy to revive the faith of Oshio-sama. But I can tell by the way Tomiki-san died that it was the act of the curse. I'm certain about that because I experienced the curse myself. And at first glance, that seemed incompatible with those conspiracy theories about human beings. I remember that Oshi-san told me about some kind of drug that can make a person commit suicide. So, do the three families have a secret drug that can cause the curse of Oshio-sama? That's impossible. Plus, I didn't get any shots of a suspicious drug like that. I had a normal life in Nabaki. I wasn't involved with the Sonozaki family or the Kimiroshi family. Oshi-san asked me a favor. He asked me to tell him secretly if I saw or heard anything suspicious. It could be about Mi-chan, Rika-chan, or anybody in the village. Mio-san believed my story about Oshio-sama. Now she's gone. Tomiki-san died by doing the same thing I did. Oh no, 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 no. I don't want to get involved with the curse of Oshio-sama. Is this a conspiracy of a group of fanatical cult members, or is it the curse of Oshio-sama? Is everything just a set of coincidences? Or maybe it's a mixture of a conspiracy and the curse? I don't know. Is it the work of humans, the curse, or a coincidence? Oh no, even the light of the sunset was making me feel dizzy. I feel ya, man. I feel ya, Rena. When did the sunlight in Himizawa get so mean? Mio-san told me to keep her investigation secret. I have her top secret scrapbooks. They might hold the truth about everything. When I realized that, I got scared all of a sudden. I might end up the same way as Mio-san because I have her scrapbooks. If it's a conspiracy, I'll be a waste. If it's a curse, I'll be cursed. I should burn the scrapbooks. That's the safest thing to do. But Mio-san believed my story. Mio-san listened to me without laughing. I'd feel wrong to burn them without taking a look. If it's a conspiracy, I have to expose it. If it's a curse, I have to break it. I shouldn't run away. I should fight. That's right, I decided to fight to seize my happiness. I shouldn't give in to misfortunes. I have to fight. I'm going to get rid of all the things that are trying to ruin my peaceful life. I'm going to read her scrapbooks when I get home. I started walking faster. Holy shit. Oh my god, that... Oh my god. Oh my god. Is it a conspiracy, a curse, or icky things? Oh my god. I have to keep going. This is way too good. Plus, we're only at level hour and 28 minutes. This might be 2 hours, but I think you guys wouldn't mind that. Attendant, Kuada Mental Clinic. Hello. To get straight to the point, we can assume that this is an acute case of post-traumatic stress disorder. The patient is subject to tremendous stress because of her parents' sudden divorce and being forced to choose to live with either her mother or her father. Furthermore, the patient firmly believes that she was responsible for her parents' divorce, which further drives her to self-mutilation. The patient's largest shock stems from a sense of betrayal of her own household, which she believed was an absolute safe haven. Henceforth, there is a high possibility that the patient will resort to psychological defense measures to protect her family. For example, she might feel high disdain for any person of the opposite sex who approaches her father. She might feel uncomfortable about having other people in her home. She may also display eccentric behavior in order to keep people away from it. As an example of the latter, there are reported cases of patients unconsciously bringing home garbage. It's highly important that the patient remains in close communication with her father. By deepening the communication between the two of them, it will strengthen their family bond and loosen up her anxiety. Since the patient only shows signs of an acute syndrome in this case, there's a very good chance that she'll recover within 3 months with her father's support and proper medication. However, it's common for a patient who seems to have recovered to have a sudden recurrence, a flashback even after 10 years. Her father is still fairly young, and there's still a chance that he could remarry. However, seeing an unfamiliar member of the opposite sex through remarriage could trigger a flashback in the patient, which may lead to avoidance behavior, or hyper-awareness. Please explain this part further away to the father in order for him to understand the recovery process. Should the father decide to remarry, it's recommended that he should hold off in telling the patient until she reaches the age where she's capable of living independently. Also, the cause of the patient's psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, delusional parapsychosis, seems to be its own culture-bound syndrome. The patient blindly believes that leaving her home village will cause a curse, and that this curse was the cause of her parents' divorce. We believe this is a subconscious defense mechanism to reduce her mental trauma by shifting the blame from herself to their village's curse. According to the patient's statement, the culture of her home village is extremely strict and exclusive. The patient believes that there is no way to be saved from the curse other than by going back to the village, as the curse will continue as long as she lives in her current environment. Through this, we see an incarnation of schizophrenia and believe the chances are high that the patient will continue to alter their perceived reality. Schizophrenia, a case where a patient's personalities are reduced, causing altered perceptions of reality and delusions. Her delusions about the maggots dwelling within her blood is a perfect example, and it's also the cause of her psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior. When a delusion involves psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, it's extremely dangerous. I highly recommend for the father to move back to the village if he's financially capable. Allowing her to live with relatives in the village might also work. If such a strong belief can induce symptoms such as self-mutilation, then there might be other cases similar to this one. Perhaps prior medical files that document similar culture-bound syndromes may be available at a large medical institution in her local area. It will then be possible to provide better and more accurate mental care for the patient by obtaining these case files. This B5-sized letter was with a bunch of memos. The following was on the back side of the letter. 1 Chikadon Frisch Hang Style Gomaku Yakisoba, 1 large fried rice. Damn boing sound effect. Yeah, this literally said lunch takeout list, and it's like, schizophrenia. Yeah, I gotta keep going. I have to keep going, man. I just want to keep going. This game, I know, sometimes I just want to keep going. So, I'm going to keep going. About homing ability and homesickness. If you interpret homing ability in a broad sense, you can say that most animals have a homing ability. It's the same with humans. We like to sleep, rest, and eat at a place where we feel comfortable, namely our homes. Your home is to you what nests are to animals. Therefore, we can say that humans have a homing ability as well. First of all, why do animals need nests? The answer is the same as for humans. Sleeping, resting, eating are the essential actions for survival. At the same time, those actions leave one defenseless as well. That's why you need a safe area where you can be defenseless. Everybody knows that not having this safe area results in a high level of stress. When you move an animal to a new environment, it naturally becomes stressed. When you force a person to live in a foreign land where they aren't comfortable, they become greatly stressed as well. Everybody also knows that this kind of stress is called homesickness. Japanese don't know much about homesickness. We defined it as a mental weakness and we neglected to treat it for a long period of time. However, homesickness has had a very long history. In Europe's Middle Ages, people believed that it wasn't a mental but rather a physical disease. People also believed that out of everyone, the Swiss got the disease the most. The Swiss, you see, were known to be an ethnic group that worked away from home in that era. They lived far away from their homes. There were no telephones at that time, so they couldn't even hear their families' voices for ages and ages. It's easy to imagine that the young Swiss workers got homesick while working in a strange land. These Swiss who got homesick wanted to go home, but they couldn't because of their jobs. The conflict made them weak physically and mentally. Some of them went crazy and tried to escape from their reality by committing suicide or running away. The Swiss at the time were very superstitious, and many folk remedies and occult-like treatments to prevent homesickness went around. Since going home was the only treatment, they must have called it a fatal disease. But it isn't really one, of course. Specifically, homesickness is a sign of that human homing instinct. Your brain desires to go back to your safe area, namely your home. At first, your brain makes you remember the happy memories of your home, and it urges you to go home in a natural way. But when reason stops you from achieving your desire, your brain starts sending unnatural signals to your body. As a result, your body gets weak, and that makes it more difficult for you to live in a strange land. In the end, you have to bend reason in order to achieve your desire to go home. So homesickness is born from our homing instincts. And the stronger one's homing instincts is, the stronger their homesickness. The strength of that homing instinct varies from individual to individual and depends on the environment in which those individuals live. When your home is safe and the environment you live in is dangerous, your homing instincts grow stronger. On the other hand, when the environment you live in is safer than your homing instinct becomes very weak. Safety isn't the only element that affects its strength. Cultural aspects affect it too. The many customs demanding families to return home for major events varies with each region, so your birthplace's culture also alters the strength of your homing instinct. Amongst those regions, the transcendents of Onogafuchi village were believed to have an excessively strong homing instinct. The people of Onogafuchi forbade their fellows from ever leaving. Many believe this was the effect of the elitism and sense of purity I already mentioned before. People today still strongly believe that Oshiro-sama puts his curse on you if you break his rule and abandon the village. This superstition can be interpreted as homesickness. If homesickness is directly proportional to one's homing instinct, then the exaggerated expression curse would signify the strength of that homesickness and also their homing instinct. I can assume that they hated the outside world and created an insular society precisely because of their powerful homing ability. Unfortunately, there's no way to measure the strength of the homing ability that the primitive people of Onogafuchi had. It was so strongly forbidden to leave the village that nobody left long enough to get homesick. However, after the Meiji era, things change. The sacredness of Onogafuchi dwindled with the efforts of modernization. Many young people started longing for city life, and some people were forced to leave the village to get a job. As a result, villagers started venturing outside the village borders. That was when the transcendents of Onogafuchi realized how strong their homing ability was for the first time. The residents of Himizawa got extremely homesick. After a while, people started to call this homesickness the curse of Oshiro-sama. It became rumored that a person who left the village to get a job in a strange land was cursed, and that he went crazy and died, and people who had left the village started coming back to either it or the nearby town. Their homesickness and their homing ability were very strong because of their culture. Okay, this winds up very well with the Himizawa syndrome that was described at the end of chapter 3. After which Himizawa was pretty much destroyed, many of the people who managed to get away started, reporting paranoia and hearing things around the corners and stuff like that. This might come from their homing ability. And plus, with the culture of Himizawa as well, enforcing that homing ability as well. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's reasonable to think that these were cultivated by the unique religion in Himizawa, namely the cult of Osho-sama. From the moment they were born, they were taught the rules of Osho-sama. They must have felt guilty about leaving the village unconsciously. As a result, they considered their homesickness to be the curse of Osho-sama. I'm not sure if their homesickness got stronger because of the rules of Osho-sama, or if they made the rules of Osho-sama because their homesickness got stronger. I don't know which came first. I got tired of reading such small print and way down on the floor on my back. The true identity of the curse of Osho-sama is homesickness? Neo-san believed my story, and she let me read these scrapbooks. That's why I expected to find something interesting. But what it's saying is that the answer to it all is homesickness. Which many doctors told me so many times at counseling, I'm a little upset. The word homesickness can't explain the extraordinary experience I had. I saw Osho-sama come down to me from a bright light in the bathroom. I saw the dusky red nasty maggots come out of my blood vessels. The scrapbook doesn't explain any of that. I don't understand how Mio-san was going to explain the crowd of maggots. Maybe she didn't have any explanation of that to begin with. Was it just a delusion? I flipped through one of the other scrapbooks Mio-san let me borrow, looking for an explanation of the maggots I saw. Then I found it. What? It had the exact title I was looking for. What is this? About maggots and the curse of Osho-sama. In the Meiji era, a group of villagers were on their way back to Himizawa, and they started discussing a rumor about a weird disease. They said that maggots started crawling out of the wounds of the person who left Himizawa, and that the maggots ate the person's body from the inside. The Shinto priest of the Furude shrine at that time explained that the weird disease was a sign of the curse of Osho-sama. According to tradition, the Shinto priest showed the villagers an ancient scroll, and he told them that the story of the maggots had been passed down through the ages. This is what the scroll said. The world where the demons came from must be interpreted as the land of death, and the demons in that land of death had to live their lives while being eaten by maggots. The villagers who are of the demon's blood had nothing to worry about as long as they lived in Himizawa under the protection of Osho-sama. But once they left Himizawa, abandoning that protection, the maggots that had been sleeping in the blood of the demons would start to awaken, and they eat their bodies from the inside out. This maggot disease scared the villagers for a while, and they asked a shrine to provide them with protective talismans whenever they had to leave the village on business. This is interesting, as it's similar to the way homesickness was dealt with by the Swiss in the Middle Ages. After the war started, the delusion of the maggot disease faded away, but they remained accustomed to send talismans to families that lived away from Himizawa. The talismans had the word maggot on them. But the most interesting part about all of this is that the residents of Himizawa didn't know about the maggot disease until the rumors began. I thought that their unconscious worship made those people think of homesickness as a curse. So this case of the previously unknown maggot disease directly contradicted the research I had done so far. It's natural to think that the group of people who were on their way back to the village were lost in a mass delusion because they strongly believed in the curse, and that the Shinto priest took advantage of their state of panic to instill a deeper faith in them. But I'm not fully convinced that it was merely a coincidence that this mass delusion matched with the story in the old picture school. Yeah, that is something. This happened in the Meiji era, right? I do not know that much about like the different eras of Japanese history, but I know that like each era is like signified by the leader at the time. So I don't know exactly when this was. Maybe like 19th century, maybe. I wonder if it's possible to see maggots in a room without having the prerequisite knowledge when a person is cursed by Osho-sama. I wish Osho-sama would put his curse on somebody I could study. I'd love to see those maggots coming out of someone. Okay. What? How would Rena know that and cause that delusion then? I felt as if Mio-san was here and making that request of me. I remember when she gave me the scrapbook, she said that I might be the only one who could understand them. I felt good just for a moment, because I found out that the maggots weren't a delusion, but at the same time it destroyed my excuse that it was a delusion. The maggots weren't a delusion. They were there. All of a sudden my wrists, elbows, inner thighs, and neck started itching. I felt the urge to cut open a blood vessel, but I quietly held it down. I remember that Mio-san looked very serious when I talked about the maggots. She must have thought it was creepy, but so did I. While I was crying because nobody believed me, a part of me didn't want to believe that my body was filled with those creepy things. I think part of me wanted to believe that it was a delusion, but now I know it wasn't. It wasn't a delusion. There were some people who had the exact same experience. Maggots in a demon's blood will awaken when you lose the protection of Oshiro-sama. In other words, they may not awaken under the protection of Oshiro-sama, but all the villagers still have the maggots in them without knowing it. People with the demon's blood are people who have the creepy maggots in their bodies. I tried not to jump to conclusions and flipped the pages again. I unconsciously looked for something related to maggots. About parasites and control of the host. The maggot disease made me think about something. Is it possible to say that the extremely strong homesickness of Himizawa was an infectious disease caused by some kind of parasite? I'm not trying to connect the maggots they saw with parasites. I'm trying to think about the possibility that their culture, their religion, might be associated with an infectious disease. Many infectious diseases are caused unintentionally by parasites. A parasite's host is literally its home. It wants to live within the host's body for as long as it can. The best way to do that is to coexist with the host without the host knowing it. But some parasites try to control their hosts and use them for prosperity. For example, some parasites have an ability to control their host, in order to force them to be eaten by a superior host. A typical example is the Duracotonum denitrinium. It uses snails or ants as an intermediate host and forces them to move to the upper side of vegetation so that it's easier for a superior host to consume it. One parasite controls more complicated animals is called Toxoplasma gondii. It uses mice as intermediate hosts, with the superior host being cats. This parasite makes a mouse lose its fear of cats in order to increase its chance of getting eaten, so that the parasite can live within the cat instead. There are parasites that choose hosts at random. The rabies virus is commonly known for that. It lives and breeds in the brain of a host, and it moves into the host's saliva through the salivatory glands. It makes the host extremely aggressive, in order to make it bite things randomly, so that it in turn can move into other hosts through the saliva. That's what rabies does. Many parasites have a similar ability to control hosts to their benefit. The examples I used above are about parasites that move into other hosts to prosper. But I think there must be some kind of parasite that controls its host in order to have a comfortable environment in which to live. I want to try to connect this theory to the abnormal homing ability and homesickness of the Onkafuji residents. Let's say there's some kind of parasite that exists in Himizawa, and it lives within all of the villagers' bodies. For the parasite, Himizawa is the most comfortable environment to live in, so it gives the host a strong homing ability in order to make them stay in Himizawa. Furthermore, it causes the host to get homesick whenever they ignore this homing ability and try to leave. Parasites need a host in which to live. It's convenient for them if their hosts build a community in the environment where it feels comfortable. This theory makes it easier for me to explain the mysteries I described earlier. The Transcendents of Onkafuji knew about the existence of this parasite. Oh my god. If it is a parasite, it would make sense why the origin of all the demons came from the swamp. Oh my god. Okay. Was the cause of all this was during the, how long, whatever year it was, some people drank the water from the swamp and they got infected with this parasite, right? But, you know, some people, the parasite would make them go a little bit bad. Or maybe it's a more simple thing of that because they weren't really allowed to weed in Mizawa during that time. They drank the water, and without knowing it, they had this parasite within them. This parasite that kept them in Himizawa, and, you know, through generations and generations, this parasite became hereditary. You know, it was in the baby, you know, before it's literally born. That would explain why it came from the Onokafuchi swamp, if it is a parasite. Because there's no way a guy would just show up out of a swamp for no reason. Oh my god. Has it been a fucking parasite this entire goddamn time? That's not behind the damn murders. Do everyone who's born in fucking Himizawa have goddamn maggots in their veins? Oh, that's a scary fucking thought. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, what the fuck are we going to? Oh my god. They knew that. As hosts to the parasites, they couldn't live outside the village. That's why they created a culture and rules that prohibited contact with the outside world. Dude. The reason why they want to be so elite, so high class, was to mask the identity of what made them different, of these damn parasites in their blood. And maybe that's why people segregated the people from Wanaka Himizawa, because they had a fucking parasite within them that's been developing for who knows how many generations. Dude, what the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna just say this right now. I could have never fucking guessed this. Not in a million fucking years. I could have never guessed, like, they all have parasites within them. What the fuck? It also explains why people acted so abnormal during the damn conflict. So the demons that came out of the swamp in the legend of Osho-sama can be interpreted as a mass spread of the parasite. The story about the demons attacking the villagers must be a metaphor for the behavior of the infected villagers who are controlled by the parasite. This theory is too crazy. I should have just laughed about it. But I felt bad for Mio-san, so I decided not to. Himizawa was controlled by a parasite? You could use that theory to explain how the maggots came out of me. I felt a little bit dizzy. I was so confused. A part of me thought it was ridiculous, and another part of me thought it was more convincing than any curse. But Mio-san was probably erased because she wrote these scrapbooks. If so, the contents of these scrapbooks must be something that they can't ignore. They try to get rid of all of her scrapbooks and consign them to oblivion. What if they notice some of her scrapbooks are missing? I felt a chill running through my spine. I have to keep it a secret that I have these scrapbooks, and I'll have to try to understand more about their contents. Remember, Mio-san told me that the three families are behind the series of mysterious deaths, and that they're trying to resurrect the cult of Osho-sama. According to the theory I just read, the parasite must be trying to maintain the current environment of Himizawa. The healthiest environment for it is a completely closed village, just like the primitive Onakafuchi. I'm coming to a realization. Now, I could just be going off the damn deep end. What if the reason why everyone in the village wants to retain the same old days, what if it's not 100% just human, intellect, human preservation of just keeping everything the same? What if it's also the thing, the parasites trying to retain the same exact environment without any changes to it? I feel like I'm going off the damn deep end. Honestly, I feel like I'm going off the damn deep end with these goddamn parasites. But, like, the reason why 50% of it is just human intellect, the other 50% could be, or maybe just a little tiny percent of the could be the parasite trying to retain the exact same environment. Or maybe fucking Mio-san is just fucking insane. But the thing is, I can't discredit this damn parasite theory, is because how the hell would Rena know about this damn maggot curse? Right, this maggot disease, even though she most likely never even heard about it. Why would she have the delusion of maggots being in her blood? It could be just like, natural human terror of like, maggots are nasty, and you don't want maggots crawling out of your damn veins, but like, oh my god, this game so perfectly puts us in the shoes of our characters, of going mad, trying to figure out what the fuck is up with Hinazawa. What is it? Who's behind the curse? Is it a conspiracy, a curse, or coincidence? Okay, let's keep going. It must be very comfortable for the parasites if no hosts go outside the village. They don't even like that the villagers often leave the village to go shopping. That means the parasite would try to grow the host in resurrecting the cult of Osho-sama. I remember there was an article in the scrapbook saying that the demon's blood runs thickest in the three families. That would mean they have a larger amount of parasite in them than the other villagers, that they're under its control. The three families seem to be planning to bring the village back to the Onikafuchi era. Reviving the Wanakagashi festival after the dam conflict can be interpreted as their desire to revive the faith that had started to fade away in the Meiji era. The three families, especially the Sonozaki family, have a great influence over the region and the public organizations. What's going on here? I thought this to be a poorly written theory, but the pieces fit together one after another. I've never played a jigsaw puzzle as crazy as this. I felt my brain swirling due to this absurd theory. Part of me thought this was ridiculous, and another part of me thought I might be able to expose an unbelievable truth. When I tried to look into the center of it, I felt as if I was going to fall into the whirlpool and drown. I had to devote myself to reading more seriously. There must be some truth to this. It caused misfortune and made my wife miserable after I moved to Ubaki. I might be able to find the truth, including the cause of my parents' divorce and my desperate behavior. Right then I heard a knock on the door of us and scaring me. I hid the scrapbooks under the cushion.
Rena, 電話が来てるぞ。
電話？こんな時間に？誰だろう？
本屋さんからだぞ。本の取り寄せとか頼んだのか？
Bookstore.
沖宮書房の大石さんって人からだ。
Oh shit. Oh yeah, that's what she did. Okay, yep. Okay, so it's mirroring chapter 1. Parasites. Fucking parasites. What? You know when Rena first described the maggots in her blood of like there being dark red? that kind of mirrors the two backgrounds we always see when crazy shit is happening. The red background with black lines in it. Is that supposed to be the representation of the parasites? I may be looking into this a little too deep, maybe. But come on, you have to admit that's kind of... I don't feel like that's a coincidence of the maggots being dark, very dark in Rena's blood, and also the background whenever crazy shit starts happening being a red background with bunch of black spots in it. Great. Now I have to go back to the first 3 fucking chapters with this new knowledge of parasites in my mind. God, it... You know, this damn parasite thing, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, you know? It feels like a slap in the face. Like, I should be hating this. I should be saying, like, oh, this is such a cop-out, but... At the same time, it kind of makes a lot of fucking sense when I'm thinking about it. Maybe... I don't know, maybe it one's Ficus in the 3 families. That could maybe explain why... I don't know. It could... No, Kechi isn't from Hivamazawa. That's the thing that's messing me up. I was going to say, let's say the parasites cause the delusions of the footsteps, right? Let's just say that. The biggest like proponent of that theory would be Shion, because she's Suzaki family. She heard a bunch of noises. She thought there was a demon inside of her, and with Satoshi and all that. And she heard the slamming in the storehouse. But the thing is, first of all, at the storehouse incident, Tomoki also heard it. And we know he isn't from Hinazawa. And with the whole footsteps thing, Kechi isn't from fucking Hinazawa. We know that. We know that he's not from Hinazawa. So why the hell would he have these hallucinations if the Osho-sama curse hallucinations are caused by these damn parasites? I have to fucking great. I have to go back into chapter 1 through 3 with the damn knowledge of these damn fucking parasites. I opened the windows, but all they let in was heat and the cries of the cicadas.
Ajina.
It was break time between classes, but we couldn't really get any rest. Mian and I rendered our desk, exhausted by the heat. The youngest kids sure are tough, considering how the heat wasn't bothering them at all. They were running around the classroom despite the temperature.
やっぱりさ、都会の学校だと教室にもクーラーとか入ってるわけ？
そんなことねえぞ。あるのはせいぜい職員室ぐらいだな。
うわぁ、それは羨ましいね。生徒みんなで職員室を襲って占拠とかしないの？
その辺の発想が実に妙んくさい。
I didn't even have the energy to laugh. Me and I stopped talking and used our notebooks to fan ourselves. I looked at the empty seat nearby. It was Rena's. Rena didn't come to school today. She called and told Chi-sensei she couldn't come because she's sick.
レナのやつ、最近元気ないよな。
だね。暑さにやられたのかもね。
なあ、本気で暑さでやられたと思ってるのか？
そう思ってるけど。
例の一件がさ、やっぱりじわじわと来てるんじゃないのか？
かもね。それに暑さも加わって夏バテでも起こしたんじゃないかな。
Can't even imagine how distressing it was for her to commit a murder, dismember the bodies, and get caught by her friends. We took each other's hands at that point and we united. All of us believed that we had closed the case there and had regained our peace. But was that as easy for Rena as it was for us? She must have not quite recovered yet.
おじさんはみんなで楽しく遊んでればそのうち元気になると思ってたんだけどね。そこまで心の傷が浅くなかったってことかな。
I'm thinking back. I'm thinking about these damn parasites and how they fit into the myths. You know, the night of Wanagagashi is when the demons come out, right? What if the parasite causes people to be more violent? Just like a little nudge towards like violent tendencies. That would oh my god, that would explain all the damn torture devices they developed. It's because the damn parasite, like, I don't know, nudged them more towards more violent thoughts. That's why there's so many different torture devices, both in the Sonozaki basement and in the ritual storehouse. You know, I thought at the, when first saw that, like, oh, it's just, medieval times, medieval ages type shit. But if the parasites make people lean towards more violent tendencies, it would make sense they develop more than just a handful of torture devices. Such gruesome ways, too. Oh my god. Why the fuck is this parasite why is this parasite theory, like, actually fitting into a lot of shit? Now I'm, like, really thinking about it. What other mess was there? Demon the Way? No, that's just the curse. I don't know. These goddamn parasites are gonna fuck with me now.
こういう時さ、どうしたらレナを元気づけられるかな。
多分ほっとくのが一番じゃないかな。
おいおい、そんなのでいいのかよ。俺たち仲間だろ。
ほら、ホームシックってあるじゃない？
Mia, no, don't say that.
あれもね、ちょっと寂しいからって言って実家に電話なんかかけちゃうと一気に発症しちゃうらしいよ。寂しい時はぐっと耐えて、例えばスポーツにでも打ち込んで気分転換を図るのが一番なんだってさ。
Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe because of the parasites, that's why Satoshi thought the only way to get rid of the aunt was to kill her. Because the parasites drive you to more violent tendencies. Maybe the reason why the foreman was murdered was really because of the workers getting mad at him. And no, were they from Himisawa? No, I think they were. I'm pretty sure they were, right? I could be totally wrong about this, but this fits way too fucking good. Maybe they really did have an argument, and they literally fucking murdered him because the parasites just, like, nudge you that little bit closer to being more violent than the normal person. Second incident was just an accident. The third was just, a disease killing the priest, and, the wife couldn't take it, and she killed herself. The fourth was Satoshi. And the fifth is a conspiracy. Why is this damn parasite theory making so much sense? Why is this damn parasite theory fitting all the pieces together? God damn it, Ryuku 07. God damn it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. I'm so stupid. it's not just a hereditary thing. Ketchy could have been infected by this damn parasite any time. Wait. He probably drinks water, right? The parasites are probably in the damn water throughout like generations of like this damn parasite like being progented in the village. So like if he even drank like a glass of water, he would get the damn parasite, and that would cause him to be more violent. Which, like in chapter 1, in chapter 2. Well, not really chapter 2. No, in chapter 2, he started hearing the footsteps. And in chapter 3, he must have drank a large dose of the parasites, which made him even more violent. Oh my god, it's the damn parasites. The parasites are the damn solution to everything. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. Oh my god. Dude. Dude. Oh my fucking god. If he even had a glass of damn water, could be in the damn water systems. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
気分転換させてやりたくても、あいつ最近部活に加わらないし。
You guys go ahead and watch this. I'm just having my fucking mind explode right now.
レナはどうか知らないけどさ、人には甘えたい欲ってのがあるんだよ。そばに支えてくれる人や同情してくれる人がいると甘えたくなる欲。慰めてくれる人が現れるとさ、際限なく甘えちゃうことってない？
どうだろうな。
際限なく甘えるってことは、相手の同情をより深く得ようとするってこと。そうすると、ケイちゃんは慰めてるつもりなのに、相手はどんどん落ち込んでいっちゃうことがあるんだよね。
Is the reason why the Hanazawa is so like united? It's because they're very much they depend on each other like parasites. This damn parasite. It's making me think about everything. Oh my god.
慰められて甘えられる。これに味を占めると不幸に酔うのが癖になる。レナもその辺分かってるから、わざと一人になろうとしてるんじゃない？慰めや甘えが目的だったら、私たちのそばにいて涙を流せば済むわけだし。
Like Higurashi.
じゃあ落ち込んでるレナをどう励ませばいいんだよ。
Which is a bug. Parasites can be a type of bug. Higurashi When They Cry. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
女の心情としては、辛さを励ましてくれるより忘れさせてくれる方が嬉しいね。
慰めるな、励ますな。なんだよ、お手上げじゃないかよ。
慰めるな、励ますなは心理カウンセラーの鉄則だって知ってる？結局心の傷ってのは自分で治すようにできてる。周りの人が治したとしても、それは本当の完治じゃない。
Yeah.
だからレナが自分で元気になるのを私たちは見守るしかないんだよ。
Yeah, we all gotta fight our own demons.
理屈じゃ理解できるが、なんだか薄情な気がして好きになれねえな。
I crossed my hands behind the back of my head, looking at the ceiling. Man laughed.
それだけレナのことを心配してくれるケイちゃんが身近にいるなら、レナは大丈夫だよ。立ち直れるよ。
近くにいるだけでか？うさんくさいな。
圭一にだってできることがありますですよ。
Rika-chan spoke up. I wonder how long she'd been listening to our conversation.
俺にもできることがあるのか？
レナが話したいと思った時や打ち明けたいと思った時に静かに聞いてあげることなのです。
聞くだけでいいのか？励まさなくていいのかよ。
ケイちゃん、打ち明けるだけで心が軽くなるもんだよ。静かに耳を傾けるのが何よりも嬉しい時ってある。
I mean, yeah.
ミーの言う通りなのですよ。レナが話したいと思った時、いつでも話しかけられる場所にいてあげるのもきっと仲間として大切なことなのだと思いますです。
Mia and Rika-chan were absolutely right. I was going to pat Rena on her shoulder and tell her to cheer up when I saw her next, but now I know that would have been one-sided on my part. Rena doesn't want to feel down herself. She wants to cheer up if at all possible. If I cheered her up irresponsibly, she'd be very disappointed because she'd think that I didn't understand her pain.
そうだな。俺、ちょっと人の心ってやつを理解しようとしてなかったな。レナを励ましたいのは俺の欲求であって、レナの求めることじゃない。ありがとな、二人とも。俺、ひょっとすると今日まで何か勘違いをしてたかもしれないぜ。
On that day, I thought I cheered her up. But I started to doubt if I reached her heart. I might have just been dragging her someplace where I wanted her to go. I wasn't on her side in the real sense of the term. All of a sudden, Rika-chan patted my head.
圭一は一番のレナの味方ですよ。それは疑わなくて大丈夫なのです。
俺、また考え事を口に出しちまってたのか？
レナの心には届いてるよ。ケイちゃんはあの日、とても強い力をレナに与えたんだからさ。いやー、でもさ、よくよく思い出すとすっごい恥ずかしいこと言ってたよね。
We heard footsteps from the hallway. Everybody started to head back to their desks.
お待たせしました。それでは委員長、号令起立。
We didn't have a club meeting that day because Rena wasn't around. That worked out for me, because I had an errand to run. It wasn't a big errand. My mom wanted to use her point card to get some detergent. I didn't see the point of going all the way to the store just to get detergent, but my mom told me to go because she's busy helping my dad with his work. I started walking towards the shopping center. I noticed someone was watching me, hiding behind a distant tree. I wonder who would do such a mischievous thing. I stared at them to find out who it was, at which point they emerged.
お？レナじゃねえか。
Are you feeling better now? I was about to say that, but I swallowed the words. Somehow, Rena looked very serious.
どうしたんだ？
Rena put her index finger to her lips, told me to be quiet, and looked around carefully, and begged me for her to come over. I had no idea what was going on, but I followed her instructions, shut my mouth, and ran to her. Rena gestured for me to squat down to hide in the shadow of the bush. I didn't know why I had to do that, but I could ask her the question later. Just followed her orders for now. It looked like she was making sure no one was following her. If it was me on, she'd do something like this just to fool me as a joke, but I know Rena doesn't do things like this for fun. I had no idea what kind of situation I got myself into, but I could feel how tense it was, and I made myself as small as I could.
もういいよ。ごめんね。
The tone of her voice made me relax a little.
どうしたってんだよ、一体。
多分私誰かに最近後をつけられているの。
なんだって？
Oh, who would follow her? When I thought about it, I realized how stupid the question was.
まさか警察かよ。
Rena Miyama and Tepe Hojo. Two people disappeared. Even though they were awful human beings, the police had to investigate if they found out they'd gone missing. Probably wouldn't be difficult to find out that Rena had often been to Rena's house. But it should be okay. As long as they don't find those bags, it should be okay.
警察なのか警察じゃないのかわからないけれど、綿流しの夜以降誰かにずっと見られている気がするの。
どういうことだよ。
Once I asked that question, Rena stared directly at me with a blank expression. Her eyes looked as though they were evaluating me. She stared at me as if she was assessing whether I was worth talking to about something very important. Rena squeezed her own wrist tightly and started talking in a whisper.
話してもいいけど、誰にも内緒にできる？
ああ、もちろんだぜ。レナがそうしろってんなら誰にも喋らない。
うん。圭一君なら信用できるよ。
She smiled and looked around one more time.
連中はひょっとするとミオさんのスクラップ帳を探しているのかもしれないの。
ミオさん？で、ああ、看護師の高野さんのことか。あとスクラップ帳って何のことだ？
秘密の捜査になっているって言ってたから、多分圭一君は知らないよね。高野ミオさん殺されたんだって。
いつ？
She told me to be quiet again, lowered my voice and let her continue.
綿流しの夜、私たちはミオさんと、あと富武さんに会ったよね。あの直後に2人が襲われたんだって。富武さんはお社様のたたりにあって喉をかきむしって死んだ。ミオさんは隣の県の山中で焼き殺されていたと言ってたの。
Okay, so they did find her body.
それ本当かよ。そんなの誰も知らないぞ。
うん。それは警察が伏せて捜査をしてるからなの。ひなみ沢村連続開始事件は今年で5年目になっちゃうでしょ。だから変に騒がれたくないんで事件を公にしていないんだって。
なるほど。秘密捜査なのは分かったが、レナはそんな話どこで聞いたんだよ。
内緒だよ。私実は大石っていう沖宮署の刑事さんと連絡を取り合っているの。その人に教えてもらった。
どうして大石って人がレナに？
さあ、ちょっとそこはわからない。彼が言うには私なら信用できそうだからって言うんだけどね。
I was dumbfounded to hear all of this, but I knew she wasn't lying. If it was Mion, she'd be sticking her tongue out by now, but when I wouldn't make a joke out of something like this.
ミオさんが殺された理由は多分彼女の研究のせいだと思うの。ミオさんがこの村の歴史とか民族学とかそういうのを熱心に調べてたってのは知っている？
なんとなくは聞いたことある。
Takano-san was interested in the occult and in mysterious things. I remembered Mion once told me that she was studying the village's legends of man-eating demons out of curiosity.
彼女は多分その研究の中でこの村に関するある重要な秘密を知ってしまったの。あるいは彼女はそんなにも確信には踏み入ってなかったのかもしれないけど、そうは。
ちょっと待て。この村の秘密ってなんだよ。
私はミオさんのスクラップ帳をほんの数冊借りて読んだだけ。でも彼女が特に大事にしていた秘蔵の数冊だからかなり重要なことが記してあったと思う。だから多分ミオさんが至ろうとしていたことに8割方ぐらいは近づいていると思うの。 でもあまりに突拍子もなくて私にはまだ信じられない。
But yet it fits so goddamn well.
ミオさんの想像が正しいかどうか検証してる段階なの。
で、何なんだ一体。秘密を知ると殺されるっていうこの村の秘密ってのは。
I gasped the moment those words left my mouth. If Rena told me, I might get killed too.
圭一君にはまだ全部話したくない。確証が持てたら話すね。だってそれくらいに途方もないとんでもない話だから。
確証ってなんだよ。
例えば予備知識のないことは私自らがその存在を検証できているけど、他にもたくさん未検証のことがあるの。それらを埋めていかないと私ですらにわかには信じられない。
Maggots? I was totally lost now, and I wanted to ask her some questions, but I decided not to cut in. It was so hot outside. But Rena held her arms as if she was cold.
レナ、俺はいつだってお前の味方なんだからな。俺だけは信用してくれて構わない。
ありがとう。その一言がすごい嬉しい。
From her expression alone, I could tell that she really meant it. I could also tell that she was involved in something very big, that she felt lonely because she couldn't tell anybody else about it. I had to be on her side while she was going through a difficult time.
私とね、今日ここで出会ったことは内緒にした方がいいと思うの。私と接触があったことが知られたら圭一君にも危害が及ぶかもしれないから。
わかった。俺に何か協力できることはないのかよ。
今はない。でも協力をお願いできることが分かっただけで今の私には心強いよ。最後には頼らせてね。
おう、任せとけ。
し、車が来る。
I'm gonna push my head into the bush. I went along with it and crouched down even lower in the bushes. We stayed quiet for a while. Could hear a car coming closer. After a while, a white van passed by. White van! I was surprised at her healing. She heard the car coming when it was still far off in the distance.
今の車、ナンバー見えた？
いや、ごめん。
Damn it.
見えなかった。
私もちょっと見えなかったけど、多分さっきと同じナンバーの車だと思うの。
The damn white van.
そのレナを尾行しているとかいう連中か？
多分。普段車なんか通らない道で今日は何度も追い上げられるの。
Same one from chapter 1.
その度に私は隠れてやり過ごしているからいいんだけど、
It's probably the
どうも
director's
おかし
group.
い。
そいつらなのか？高野さんたちを殺してレナが持ってるスクラップ帳を狙っているという連中は。
多分。
I don't blame her for not being able to believe what's going on, because this is really crazy. Takano-san uncovered something really significant for her studies. The people who want that information hidden found out about it, and they killed her on the night of Higurashi, copying the curse of Oshiro-sama. They're looking for the scrapbooks, the fruits of her research, and Rena has them. That's why they're trying to kill Rena?
じゃあレナの家が危ないってことはないのか？
大丈夫。スクラップ帳はゴミ山の私の隠れ家に隠してある。お父さんが不安だけど、何も知らないからこそ何も危害が及ばないかもしれない。圭一君が言わなくても顔に書いてあるよ。突拍子もない話でとても信じられないでしょ。
I wanted to deny it, but I felt bad to lie, and remained silent in the affirmative.
それが当然の反応。 私だってミオさんのスクラップ帳を読み始めた最初はなんだこりゃって思って全然信じられなかったもの。全てに目を通してようやく何かの筋が見えてきたんだもん。
すまん。もちろんレナの味方になりたいのは本心だ。でも話が全然見えないんで、どう助けてやればいいか分かんないんだ。
話せば圭一君の身にも危険が降りかかるよ。
レナにはすでに降りかかってるんだろ。ならおあいこだぜ、気にするな。
分かった。
おー
話す。多分ミオさんたちを殺したのはひなみ沢御三家。もっとはっきり言ってしまえばみーちゃんの家である園崎本家。
どうして？
圭一君も過去の連続開始事件は知ってるよね。
ああ。ダム戦争の時の村の旧敵ばかりが毎年犠牲になっていくっていうあれだろ。
It would make sense it's a free families. Maybe each free family has the damn syringe or a supply of them. They killed Tomiki because he was in line with Takano and they both broke into the ritual storehouse. They killed Takano because she was getting too close to the Parasite revelation.
この連続開始事件はダム戦争の生産のようなものなの。村の裏切り者を片付けることによって本当の意味でダム戦争を終わらせようとする。
確かにそう見えないことはないよな。誰もがはっきりと口にはしないが、うすうすと園崎家の仕業だと疑ってるみたいな話は聞いたことあるぜ。
Yeah.
でも裏切り者を制裁するなら別に綿流しの場にこだわらなくてもいいんじゃない？毎年たたりで一人、鬼隠しで一人なんてスローペースで殺す必要はない。そうでしょ？
Never heard the word seeming away before, but when I clearly thought they have some kind of creepy, significant meaning, so I decided not to cut in.
つまりこれらの連続開始事件は綿流しの祭りに神聖性を取り戻そうとする意志があるの。もっと踏み込んで言うと、明治以降に失われた鬼ヶ淵村の神聖性を取り戻すための段階的イベント。彼らは最終的には太古の昔にそうだったような原理的なお社様信仰を復活させることを目的としている。
お社様信仰、古出神社のことか？
そう。古出神社って崇められていると思う？お年寄りの人は敬っているけど、それだけだよね。子供たちは境内を遊び場くらいにしか思ってないし、ほとんどの村人たちも地域の集会所くらいにしか思っていない。その神聖性は失われている。それがダム戦争をきっかけに蘇ったの。彼らはそれをお社様信仰を復活させるいい機会だと捉えた。
ってことはつまりお社様信仰の信者たちが裏で暗躍しているってことか？
そういうこと。そもそもお社様信仰は御三家によって管理されていた。だから御三家には現代にも脈々とお社様信仰を復活させなければならないという至上目的が受け継がれているの。それを思えば御三家がダム戦争中に村を一丸にまとめたり、廃れかけていたお社様を引き合いに出し、古出神社にわざわざ同盟事務所を設けた理由も透けて見えてくる。
That doesn't make sense.
じゃあひなみ沢村連続開始事件ってのは、いやお社様を信仰する盲信的な集団の仕業なら待てよ、どうして高野さんが殺されなきゃならないんだ？
それは御三家が鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれた太古からずっと隠してきたこの村のある重大な秘密に関係があるの。それを暴かれるとお社様という神の神聖性が失われる。だから彼らはミオさんの研究が確信に近づいたことを知り消したの。
その重大な秘密ってのは何なんだ？それを知ると 俺も狙われるってんだろうけど、上等だぜ。
だからそれはまだ言いたくない。私自身が10割の確証を得るまで言いたくない。多分今ここで話しても圭一君は耐えきれなくなって笑い出してしまうに違いないもの。
おいおい、俺がそんな奴に見えるかよ。
もう少し時間が欲しいの。あまりの事実に私ですら受け入れきれていないの。
Yeah, kind of with Rena.
だから
Yes.
もう少し時間を欲しいの。お願い。
わかった。
今日ここで話したことは誰にも喋っちゃダメだよ。みーちゃんとリカちゃん、もちろんさとこちゃんにもダメ。
わかったよ。
じゃあ圭一君はもう行って。私はもう少し辺りを伺ってから行く。用心に過ぎるということはないからね。
Rena ducked low in the bushes and moved away. I was left alone there. The cries of the cicadas surrounded around me, making it seem as if I was around there the whole time. I started walking, still dumbfounded. In the end, Rena didn't tell me the secret because she was afraid of putting me in danger. But she told me clearly that there are people who want to resurrect the cult of Osho-sama, and that they're among the 3 families that control the entire village. They orchestrated a series of mysterious deaths for that purpose, and they killed Takano-san because she got too close to the secret they wanted to hide. Well, it would make sense if it's a cult trying to resurrect Osho-sama in order to protect the secret, keep everyone in Hinazawa from the 3 families. Is the person named Director at the damn head of all this? I'm telling ya, this fucking Director guy, he's mentioned once, fucking once in the entire game, and I've been on his ass ever since, goddammit. Rena met Takano-san and happened to obtain the scrapbooks in which Takano-san wrote about her research. Rena still can't believe the secret went in the scrapbooks because you're just too crazy. Hey, come on, Rena. You're kidding me, right? It's like one of those comic book stories. A mysterious occult group is plotting a conspiracy? I mean, it's not funny even if it's a joke. But Rena's right about one thing. Even if this is true, it's really hard to believe. I understand why Rena wanted to wait to tell me the secret. Maybe she was just fooled by Takano-san. But Takano-san was murdered for real. So is it also true that someone is following Rena looking for the scrapbooks? Remember, Rena said that a white van was following her. And also, I don't know, Takano-san is also so mysterious because I'm convinced that she murdered Tomiki. But like, maybe she was just a henchman of the director, right? Her job was to get close to Tomiki, kill him, and, dump his body somewhere, and that was that. But they found out she was looking into things way too deep than she was, getting paid to. Maybe that's why they killed her. I think. I mean, that's my theory for right now. I remember Rena said that a white van was following her. You can see white vans anywhere. But there are a lot in this village alone. She might just be oversensitive to everything right now. Rena hasn't recovered from shock since that day. That's probably why she got the idea into her head that the police or someone else is coming after her. I didn't cut in while she was talking. I think I did the right thing. If I had said that it was ridiculous or something to her face, Rena wouldn't have trusted me ever again. At that point, however, I grasped. A white van was parked on the side of the street. I wasn't sure if this was the same car that passed by earlier since I didn't see the plate number. But the number of the people in the car and the ambulance of it was similar to the one earlier. And there's one other thing that looks suspicious about it. There was no reason to park here. It was on a small road in the middle of the woods. There's nothing around here. No traffic lights, no vending machines, and no public phones. I probably wouldn't notice it under ordinary circumstances, but I felt something was wrong. And once I noticed how odd it was definitely suspicious. There were 4 men in work uniforms in the white van. The driver was smoking a cigarette, but the other men were just sitting there doing nothing. If they wanted to take a break or have a smoke, they could have chosen a better place than here. It was possible that they stopped because they had to go to the bathroom really badly, but it didn't seem that way either. They didn't look as comfortable or as relaxed as like they would if they were taking a break. They looked like they were waiting for something to happen. There was a deep tension in that car. Could they possibly be waiting for Rena? No way. I didn't see anybody walking around here. This road is a back road. Nobody really uses this road, let alone by car. But it's impossible. Felt bad for Rena to even think about it, but this must be something that she got in her head, because she's feeling victimized or something. She must be imagining things because she's still nervous from when her friends caught her in the act of killing Rena and Tepe.
Nii-chan.
Oh. I heard someone say that when I passed by the van. You couldn't mean me. You didn't even know who I was. So I assumed he was talking to one of the other people in the car. And then pretended I didn't hear and I kept walking by. And then he said it again. It honked a horn as well.
兄ちゃん、すまんね。学校の帰り会ね。
He had a strong accent similar to that of the older villagers. He must live here, but I didn't know him. I could tell he didn't know me either because he didn't call me by my name.
はい、そうですけど。
兄ちゃん、学校からこの道をずっと歩いてきたんで、ちょうど文房具屋の角を曲がって。
そうですけど、何か？
They were probably lost, I thought. This village has many small turns and can easily get lost when you try to take a shortcut. So they must have been waiting for someone to ask for directions. But then he said something disturbing.
兄ちゃんさ、この道の途中で女の子に会わんかったかい。
Oh shit! Oh shit!
え？
白い帽子に白い服を着た女の子なんよ。紫のリボンもついと。
Oh my god.
会わんかったかいね。
They were definitely talking about Rena.
いえ、会ってないです。
I wasn't ready to hear them ask that. Whether I was scared. That's why my voice got all shaky. Up until that point, I couldn't believe Rena's story. I thought it was ridiculous. I actually laughed, if only to myself. That's why I wasn't ready at all. My heart was beating fast and I was sweating all over. I immediately answered, no, I didn't, but it might have sounded like an obvious why. The driver stared into my eyes. He looked like he was trying to figure out if I was lying or not. My legs started to shake. I felt like a frog under the glare of a snake and I couldn't move a muscle for a while. But I think the same went for those men too. They were clearly a suspicious group and they had just asked a villager about a girl out of the blue. Anybody would get suspicious. And I was right. The man broke the ice and started making excuses before I even asked him why he wanted to know about the girl.
ああ、そんな深い意味はないんで。さっき女の子を追い抜いたのによ。来たのが男の子だったから、あれと思っただけなんで。
そうですか。
忘れてえな。ごめんな、兄ちゃん。うちらもう行くんて。
The man started the engine and drove away. After they left, I saw nothing. That's right, nothing. There was no reason why they had to park there. So, were they really waiting for Rena? Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're almost at 3 fucking hours. Jesus Christ. But, oh my, I'm sorry guys, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. This is way too good. Mystery machine. Nice. Oh my god. There was so much in this episode. Oh my god. I'm sorry if this is a long one for you guys, but oh my god. I have a lot to think about. If you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. Want to tell me something, put it down in the comments below. Want to check out the Discord server I hang out in or my Twitter, check description below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!